Hey everyone, welcome to our next workout. Today we are using the gym ball, the stability ball, the big bouncy ball, whatever you want to call it. Most homes, I'm convinced, have one of these guys, and we are going to pull it out and put it to good use today. So, first thing you're going to do is get on your ball. I will say my ball's a little bit small for me and it's a little deflated. So generally you want your hips and your knees to be at the same level. You can see here my hips are sunken down a little bit. So for my height, it's a little bit small, but it will do the trick. Don't let that stop you. So the first thing you're going to do, which is actually pretty fun, is you're just going to sit on your ball and you're going to bounce up and down. Little gentle kind of bounce. You don't need to get too aggressive. And the reason we're going to start with this first little series of sitting exercises is that this ball is a really, really great asset to have in whatever room you typically lounge in. So if you have like a TV room or family room where you typically plop yourself on the couch, this is an awesome alternative to kind of get you moving and get you working your core a little bit. So just a slight little bounce here will just start to wake up the muscles in our trunk. And this is a really good exercise just to do to break up your day as well, especially if you do spend a lot of time sitting, your back gets tight. A little bounce like this is great. Now take that bounce and let's do like 4 corners. So almost like you're bouncing and creating or drawing a box with your pelvis. So a great way to start to loosen up the hips and pelvis and low back. Same thing, not a huge bounce here. Really don't have to put much effort into it to get the body going. And now think of points on a clock. So you're going to kind of move around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You get the picture. All the way around the ball. Good. And you're not going to feel any sort of burn or real work through your core, but believe you me, it is starting to come alive. Okay? So now what I want you to do is just come right into the middle of the ball. You're going to move your feet in a little bit so they're about hip width apart. I like to keep my hands here on my belly button. If you feel like you need extra stability for what we're about to do, hands can go on the side of the ball. But what you are going to do is lift one leg up and you're going to attempt to keep the rest of you perfectly straight. So I'm going to turn sideways for a second because most of you will lift that leg up and want to lean back. I want you to avoid doing that. So if your legs or your hips are a little bit tight, you may not fully be able to straighten that leg. That's totally fine, but I want you to keep your torso upright. So it's going to be centered from left to right, and it's going to be centered from front to back. And there you should start to feel a little bit more work through your midsection to try and keep you centered. So again, from the front, that looks like this, and there's just a little bit of correction happening in through here to keep me, again, centered over the ball. Good. Put that leg down and lift the other leg up. Now, for most people, they'll have one side that feels a little bit easier. It might be quite subtle, so maybe you're not going to pick up on it right away. Same thing on this side. Does one leg feel easier to straighten out in front of you? Does one leg feel tighter? Sort of keep all these things in the back of your mind. Good. Switch and do the opposite leg. And back, and the other leg, and back. Now, if you're ready for a challenge, you're going to move one leg so that, let me back up so you can see my feet. You're going to move one leg so it's in the center of your body, just the heel is on the ground, and then the other leg comes and crosses over top. So the only point of contact on the ground is my heel of my one leg. And as best you can, you want to be constantly finding your center, finding equilibrium by adjusting through your torso or your midsection. So you're avoiding using the arms to balance you. You're trying to balance by little, small, but consistent corrections through your midsection. So try to keep your pelvis still on the ball. And it's that rib cage over pelvis that's trying to find center. Okay? Almost feels like you're a belly dancer maybe. That's kind of the best analogy I've given before of like this midsection's doing all the work, okay? If you want to get real fancy here, you can try and close your eyes. And as soon as you knock out one sense, particularly your vision, your brain has to rely on your body to know where it is in space, which is a really, really, really good exercise for people who feel like they don't have good balance. Not having good balance, can be a lot of different things involved, but a big part of that is that our body is not reading and giving messages to our brain very effectively of where we are in space. So training that is very, very important. Now uncross your legs and do the same the opposite way and see if it feels any different. Okay, can you do this? Can you find your equilibrium? Can you keep equal weight through both sit bones? Can you close your eyes here? If you're someone who feels like your legs keep sliding, then it's not the surface that you're on, that's not the issue. It's that you want to push your weight in that one heel straight towards the ground. And you want to make sure your torso is upright. So if you're lean back at all, your foot's going to slide or push forward. So think of that as like a really good way to detect if your body is trying to cheat there for you at all. Good. So those exercises you can definitely spend way more time on. They're great ones to build into an evening when you're watching TV. But for the purpose of this workout, we're going to get moving on with some more movement. So you're going to sit on your ball as you've been doing. I've just turned sideways so you can see me. Arms are going to come out in front of you just below shoulder height. And you're going to slowly walk your feet out as you lie back on the ball. Now, once your bum is off the ball, keep it lifted. You're going to bring your arms up overhead for a nice stretch. Inhale, arms come above the eyes, and then exhale, you walk those feet in as you come back up into sitting. Now, the goal with this is to make the movement as smooth as possible, okay? So for the people who feel like they need to use a lot of momentum, this is what you want to work on. So arms stop here. Good. And then as we exhale, we walk those feet in. And no matter where I am in this movement, I could pause and have control of it up and down. And if this is an issue, for a lot of people it's on the way up, it's something that I would encourage you to work at because it will get better. So for a lot of people, it's around right here that they feel like they either have to throw their body up or push themselves up. And that's where you want to derive that strength through your core to be able to lift up through there. Let's do it one more time. Back down, roll down, arms come up behind the head. Inhale, and up we walk to straight. Excellent. Now flip yourself over on the ball. And you're going to, as gracefully as you can, come onto the ball so that the pelvis is on the ball and the belly button's on the ball. Okay? The belly button's like just barely on the ball, so that's like the highest point on the ball. Now, we're going to do some work at lifting the legs and then the arms too. The important part to this, and what's not explained well in an exercise that's actually done quite often, is that as I lift my legs, I don't want to put counter pressure down into the ball. So if you can see there, when I lift my legs up, I'm pushing my pelvis down, which means I'm using a lot of my back erectors to lift up. When I lift my legs up, I want to minimize the amount I push down into that ball so that I'm using more of my glutes to lift up. And as you play around with this, it should start to make sense. So first thing, stay lifted through your shoulders. Don't let yourself collapse through the shoulder girdle. Take a deep breath in. You're going to lift the right leg up. Okay? Inhale there. And then exhale, lift the left arm up. If you can, keep the same pressure on the ball. Good. Arm comes down, leg comes down. Lift the left leg up. Don't increase that pressure on the ball. Opposite arm lifts up. Good. This is tricky. For most people, they'll notice one orientation is harder than another. That means you got to work on it more. Good. Leg comes up. Toes can be pointed or flexed. Doesn't matter. I'm more concerned about the pressure on that ball. Keep the pressure out of the ball. And then opposite arm and leg. This one is definitely more challenging for me, which is interesting. And then now let's try both legs. So lift one leg up, That should be pretty easy to do without pushing down into the ball. Now, can you float the other leg up and minimize pushing into the ball? You should feel, if you're doing it correctly, a lot of work through the glutes and a lot of work through the front of the core, trying to minimize that pressure down onto the ball. Lift through the legs. Good. Now keep those legs lifted. Walk yourself a little more forward so that your belly button is off. And you're going to go into, so keep the legs lifted and strong, so still feeling the glutes there. And we're going to go into a decline push-up. Now, the further away the ball is from your arms, the harder this is on your arms. But we're really going to focus on technique through the arms, so don't get it overly challenging where you lose the technique. So elbows are going straight back towards the ball, and my body should look like it's moving like a teeter-totter. So I'm one long line, my legs are very active, they're not flopped over the ball. Lift it up, and the ball just becomes my pivot point, my fulcrum. I come down, touch my nose down, lift up through those arms. Let's go down for 3, 2, 1, lift up, 3, 2, 1, come down, 3, 2, 1, up, 3, 2, 1. Keep those legs active. My whole body moves like a plank of wood. And up. Let's do a couple more. Down and up. Great training for doing full push-ups really well. And up. Good. Slide back. Let yourself stretch over that ball. We're going to do one more set of those. So come forward. Good. Belly button's off the ball. Legs are nice and long and active. I'm not sagging through my mid-back, okay? So my legs are active, but I'm one straight line. Arms go back, touch the nose down, and up. 1. Nice and slow here. 2. Down. 3. And 4. Equal work through both arms. Last one. Up. And then come back. And just hang out over that ball for half a second. And then we're going to move into a different position. So let's bring it to the side of us. I'm going to check that this is still filming because, all right, good. This is actually my, goodness gracious, this better make it to a place where you're watching it. But this is my 3rd time filming this same-ish workout because of technical issues. So I'm a little paranoid. I'm going to keep checking that it's not shutting off on me. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to put our elbow down on the ball right underneath our shoulder. You're going to keep this triangle nice and big, so we're not letting ourselves collapse into our shoulder here. Stay nice and lifted here. Leg is in line with my torso, and I'm going to push down into the ball as I lift my leg up. Okay, so this is variation number 1, and we're really focusing on the lift through here. Okay, variation number 2 is we're going to get our legs further away from us and coming more into a side plank here. Okay, so from our knees still, bottom knee is down. I'm shaking everywhere here. Keep in mind, 3rd workout. Okay, so try and stabilize that arm and holding here. You can bring this arm up and over, back and down, and you can even lift this leg out. So this is variation 2/2B. Do what works best for you, but I want you to focus your attention mainly on staying lifted through this bottom angle. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it to your other side, and same thing here. So you can do, this variation is the easiest. Staying lifted through here. Walk those knees away, come more into a side plank. Still the same goal being to keep lifted through that midsection. And then you can lift that leg up if you like. Keep this arm fairly relaxed, so don't squeeze that wrist. And then over and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, and come down. Good. Now, if your knees are starting to bother you, get on a cushion, but this will be the last one where your knees are on the ground. Very popular one in the physio world. A little bit of controversy behind it, but we're going to cue you through it. So, arms are on the ball. I like to interlock my hands. And then what I like to do is my eventual goal is for my elbows to be just in front of my shoulders, okay? So what I'm going to do here is keep them in the position that I want them to be in, and then I'm going to slowly rock my pelvis forward till I feel my core is being challenged. And then from here, I'm bringing the ball in, and then back out to that starting position of the arms. And I'm circling it around. It's called stirring the pot. And the only thing moving here is my arms. So my core is working hard not to collapse forward with my arms. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep those circles nice if you can. And then go the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2. This should not bother your back. If it is, rein it in a little bit. Good. Now come on up into standing, give your knees a break. What I want you to do here is get your ball right in front of you. Legs are just wider than hip width apart. And you're just going to push down into that ball. Push, 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 push. Down into that ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring it up. Okay, so we're going to do some isometric work with our upper body, meaning we're pushing into the ball and we're holding a push into the ball as we're moving the rest of our body, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is take our ball, it's into our bodies, okay? So wrap around it like you're giving it a bear hug, and then I'm pushing it in towards my body as I push my body back into it. So it looks like a net of no movement, but there's a lot of force kind of happening through my upper body, okay? So you're gonna keep that push as you go forward into a lunge and then come back. Forward and back. Now what I want you to be really aware of and how this isometric push actually helps is when you go into that lunge and you come back up, my torso stays straight as an arrow. So a lot of time when people do lunges, they kind of heave themselves back and forward, like a lot of rocking through our low back. So by pushing into the ball, and the ball pushing into you, and you pushing into the ball, it should help keep your upper body nice and controlled, which is really important when we're doing a lot of lower body stuff, and we start swinging our upper body around, and our back sort of takes the fall for that. And I'm doing the same side here repeatedly, and then we'll switch. Down and back, down and back. Good. Now we're going to switch to the other leg. We're going to make our upper body work a little bit more. Now we're pushing more into the sides of the ball, and it's slightly out in front of us. Okay, so you're going to step with the other leg. Keep that ball there. Same principle through the upper body. Don't let it rock forward and back. Nice and straight. Keep a pretty strong push into that ball as you do this. 5. Push, push, push with those arms. 4. Push. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Go back to the first leg that you stepped forward on. And if you can, this time you're going to bring your arms above your head, still pushing into the sides of the ball, okay? So arms are up here. I'm going to step forward with, what leg did I just do? No, other one. I'm going to step forward, hold it here, and I'm going to drop towards my back leg, and then I'm going to lift it back up. Hold the leg position. Upper body stays nice and straight, and I'm just twisting and come back. And by straight, I mean vertical. There's a twist happening, but I'm not leaning back as I twist. And up, push into that ball. 4, push, 3, lots of tension through that ball, through those arms. 2, and then 1. Good. And then back up we go. Same thing on the other side. Again, let me just check. We're still going strong. Good. Okay, so the other side, same thing. We're going to step forward. You'll see me twist the other way. So there I'm already starting to lean back a bit. I'm going to control for that. And then I twist and lift. 5. Push hard into that ball. 4, 3, 2, up, and down, and up. Good. Bring that ball down in front. Same thing we just did here. Legs are a little bit wide. Push into that ball with your wrist. Push, 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 push. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, in standing, you're going to get that ball wherever you can between your legs so that it's off the ground. Okay? Now, my ball is a little bit squishier here, so my legs are maybe a little bit closer together than yours. Doesn't matter, but you want to have a decent amount of pressure in on that ball. And then get your ball as high as you're able to get it. And then in this position here, you're going to come into just like a quarter squat. It'll be easier to see from the side. So I'm in a quarter squat here. And then I'm going to push in on the ball with my legs. And I'm going to drop a little lower and come up. Push in, drop, and up. There's no releasing the push in, but your body's going to naturally kind of let go a bit. So each time feel like you're adding more and more of a push. Push in, drop your bum, come up. Push in, drop your bum, come up. Push in, drop your bum, and up. Let's do 3 more. Push and drop. Push and drop. Up, push and drop, and then just do little pulses both with the knees pushing and the bum lowering at the same time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let that ball go slowly. And then come down onto your back with your feet on the ball. And I'd say like pretty close, like maybe around 1 o'clock. So close, not quite at mid 12 o'clock. If you have a clock, around 1 o'clock. Okay? And then from here, what you're going to do, keep your heels on the ball. You're going to lift up into a bridge. And then just tap ever so slightly your tailbone down and lift back up. Now the key to this exercise is the ball does not move. So it shouldn't be pushing out as you lift up at all. You actually want to keep it still. And by keeping it still, it means you're pushing straight down with your heels as you lift your bum up. 4, 3, 2, good, and last one, lift it up here. Now, keep your pelvis still, legs go out, straight, back in. Pelvis stays the same amount lifted. Don't let it move at all. Keep it there, legs go out and in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, come back to the starting place. And then tap that pelvis down and up. 5, keep the ball still. 4, keep that ball still. 3, 2, last 1, and then legs move, pelvis stays same height. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, good, and then come all the way down. Bring that ball between your knees and lift up. Okay, so at this one, you're gonna have like, I don't know, maybe if this is 90-degree bend, maybe 120-degree bend. And you're gonna have your ball kind of halfway on your legs. So like as much as on the bottom as on the top. Okay, and then from here, you should have let me just talk for a second. You should have a nice neutral curve in your low back, meaning it's lifted a little bit off the mat. Try to avoid putting your hands under your pelvis to flatten your back, okay? So keep the curve of your back neutral, and then just tap the bottom of this ball to the ground without your spine arching up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Put the ball down for a second. So again, to reiterate, when we go into our second set, your pelvis and your back stay completely neutral. It's only your hips moving, but it's going to feel challenging because your whole back is going to want to arch and move with this ball. And then that's going to make your back feel achy or like it's working a lot. Where you should feel this more is through the front body. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 2, and 1. Good, put that ball down, and then just let your legs roll over to one side, and then roll on over to the other side for a little stretch there. Good. Oh, there's a nice crack for me. And then go one more time over to this side. Bring your arms out wide if you like, palms facing up for a good twist over to this side, and then come back up. Good, and then we're gonna just finish with one of my favorite stretches, but adding the ball in. So sit like a mermaid, legs are sort of swiveled to one side, and you're going to stretch over towards that ball, push the ball away. Good. And then keep pressure on it as you walk it back in. Push that ball away, and arm comes overhead. And then bring that ball back in. Same thing on this side, switch the legs around this way. Push that ball away, push down into the ball. Ooh, a lot tighter on this side. And stretch over. Good, come back in. Push that ball away, lean into it. And stretch over. Good. And then come back up. So you guys, I kind of took you through a really quick way to work on the ball in multiple different positions. I actually encourage you either to go through that circuit again or focus on specific positions where you found it more challenging or working areas that were more challenging. It's sort of like a quick and dirty way to use the ball in a lot of different positions. But if I can give you anything to try to take away from this is put this ball somewhere where you're going to see it, where it will become more of a habit to sit on it and use it. If it's visible to you in the space that you're in, then there's more likelihood even for like 2 or 3 minutes at a time you'll pop on it and you can play around with any of these positions or exercises. So give that a try, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.